your shopping trolley with massive savings in the Spring Price Cut promotion, which runs from the 2nd of September to the 27th of October. TM Pick and Pay. Real value always.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on the main news. You spoke, we listened, we brought back the original Jerusalem Mbende drum.
Certainly, and you are not lost. This is a new look main news bulletin that you will be seeing each and every day as we endeavor to give you the best in local, regional and international news. And this is from us to you. We now get into our news in detail, rather the headlines.
Preparations for this year's ZANU PF Annual People's Conference are nearing completion.
The conference is slated for Bulawayo next month.
In business, Zimbabwe blueberries export growth top 6 million kilograms annually.
And in sport, Dynamo's gun for a double over Orapa United in CAF Confederation Cup this Sunday.
Once again, thank you for joining us. You are watching the main news. My name is Joyce Mabika. Peaceway Jomunika is on sign language.
And I'm Justin Mashasha. Later on, we'll be joined by Dora Ngube from our Montreal studios in Bulawayo. Let's now get into the news in detail. In our first story, President Emerson Mnangagwa will not be attending this year's United Nations General Assembly in New York, the United States, due to a pegged program in the last quarter of the year.
In a statement, Deputy Chief Secretary for Presidential Communications, Mr. George Charamba, said the President's address at the General Assembly will be delivered by Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister, Ambassador Frederick Shava, who is already in New York. Preparations for this year's ZANU PF Annual People's Conference slated for Bulawayo next month are on course, with subcommittees meeting at the party headquarters in Harare this Friday to deliberate on a state of preparedness.
Peter Chivima gives us our first report.
With a month to go before the ZANU PF People's Conference kicks off in Bulawayo, Party National Chairperson Comrade Opam Chinguri Kashiri chaired a preparatory meeting in Harare this Friday, which confirmed the ruling party's readiness for the annual Indaba.
We are almost 95% ready. The resources are being mobilized. Reports already are in place. All departments have submitted reports which will now make up the Central Committee report, which will be tabled before the conference by the President. Transport is now guaranteed. People will also be registered. Accommodation is almost 90% ready.
Comrade Mchinguri Kashiri also revealed some of the key issues which will be discussed at the conference.
During the conference, the agenda itself will look at the state of the party. How are we faring since last year? And you know, we have done so well looking at events that have taken place. We'll deliberate on also the state of the economy. The Minister of Mines also will say something, the Minister of Agriculture. We expect also the Minister of Public Service and Social Welfare to present to the delegates the interventions that government is doing to make sure that no one will starve in Zimbabwe. We will look at women's issues, we will look at youth issues, war veterans issues.
3,000 delegates are expected to attend the ZANU PF Annual People's Conference set for the Zimbabwe International Trade Fairgrounds in Bulawayo from the 22nd to the 27th of next month. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Vice President Kembo Mohadi says a collaboration between private security firms and government is key in combating crime at a time criminals are becoming more evasive through the use of technology.
Spiking cases involving white-collar crimes in the country have ignited focus on ways to counter the vice which is bleeding the nation of millions of dollars annually. To plug the financial leakages, government is urging security firms to collaborate in fighting crime, which is evolving at a fast pace not only in Zimbabwe but globally. At the inaugural Security Companies Summit, Vice President Comrade Kembo Mohadi, who was represented by Harare Metropolitan Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Senator Charles Tavengwa, noted that crime undermines the aspirations targeted under Vision 2030.
The future demands that we adapt to an ever-evolving threats and challenges, from physical security threats to sophisticated cyber and financial crimes. As the custodians of safety and protection, you must harness the power of modern technology, embracing innovations such as artificial intelligence, surveillance systems, and advanced risk assessments to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of security services.
Across the world, financial crimes are a huge risk on investment. Hence, stakeholders are having a convergence of minds to protect the country's investment space.
The securities industries is what protects investment. And the government is pushing for more investment. We're having more investors coming through. The economy is getting better. But the security industries is integral in making sure that all investments that are coming in and that are here, whether physical or non-physical, they're kept safe.
Experts say cybercrimes present a huge challenge for developing economies, hence the need to create robust strategies against illicit activities conducted under the shadows of technology. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
The Financial Gazette has apologized to President Emmerson Mnangagwa and the nation for the blunder on his birthday congratulatory message. A group chief, editor-in-chief for the Financial Gazette, Daily News and 3K TV, Mr. Guthrie Munyuki speaks.
The Financial Gazette, one of the staples where I'm the group editor-in-chief, in its current edition of 19 to 25 September, carried a commercial congratulatory advert from the Minister of Defense, which was inserted by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. So the advert was actually congratulating the president for having turned 82. But unfortunately, we made a mortifying blunder. One of our designers picked up an old template so that she could get the correct symbols and the coat of arms of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. But unfortunately, the template that she had picked was the one where the ZDF had previously, expressed a condolence message to one of the fallen heroes. And so she removed the old text and put the new text, but without checking that there was still something that she had to do at the foot of the advert, and that was the "May his soul rest in eternal peace." And so we know that a lot of well-meaning Zimbabweans have been able to understand our error. And so this morning, our delegation from the Financial Gazette, we had the opportunity of going to convey our very, very profound and profuse, apologies to His Excellency, his family, the government, and ZDF in particular, and Zimbabweans, about this mortifying blunder that we made at the Financial Gazette. And it was gladly accepted. And so we would like to thank very much His Excellency and his lieutenants, who also what our error was. It was just an error. But obviously there's so many Zimbabweans who are hell-bent on trying to twist things and foment tensions in the country over unfounded things. But we are very grateful that the president, who should be the most aggrieved person by this mortifying blunder, he listened to us and gave his other cheek. Because when we were there, he said, "Where are the flowers for the dead man?" By the way, you said that, "May his soul rest in eternal peace." I'm still there. It's not yet going to happen. So we really appreciate the efforts of the government. They have really continued on this path of engagement and building the once broken bridges. We really appreciate that.
Market analysts have commended the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe for making ideal interventions to stabilize the ZiG currency.
The central bank has to date injected a total of US $114 million to mop up excess liquidity while meeting growing forex demand in the economy. Financial analyst Malon Gwadu says it gives market confidence that the central bank can make timely interventions where it is necessary.
The gradual injection of foreign currency into the formal market by the Reserve Bank is commendable and is a show of capacity to then be able to intervene as and when the need is to stabilize the foreign exchange market and to also compensate and complement the market as and when it is able to, with a view of securing and ameliorating exchange rate run.
Economist Mr. Titus Mukove stressed that this confirms the Apex Bank's pledge that the ZiG will be backed by foreign currency and gold.
There is need for huge forex reserves. And when you are operating under a fixed exchange rate regime or a managed float exchange rate regime, you need to defend it with foreign currency, unlike a floating exchange rate system which finds its own price. And for us to be able to manage the rapid depreciation of ZiG, it is necessary for the central bank to always intervene and inject foreign currency in order to meet the demand of foreign currency, which is coming from retailers and manufacturers who are trying to source raw materials.
Other analysts have pointed out that indeed by injecting foreign currency into the market, it instills confidence that the central bank has sufficient tools to intervene to stabilize the local currency. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabweans have welcomed the Protection of Children and Young Persons Act, which has been signed into law by President Emmerson Mnangagwa to protect children from sexual exploitation.
The Criminal Laws Amendment Protection of Children and Young Persons Act of 2024 outlaws having sexual relations with children. According to the new piece of legislation, anyone who initiates sexual or indecent relations with a child will be liable to a criminal offense. Although children were safeguarded through the Constitution, the Marriage Act, and the Children's Rights Act, there were some gaps which were allowing pedophiles to get away with impunity, hence the new legislation, which is meant to protect children. Parents and guardians have welcomed the new piece of legislation.
Ukaona uchibata mwana we 13 years, vedwe uroi. Saka indinoutsigira ngavarambe vakasimba nemutemo wacho iwe.
Mutongo uyu ini ndaufarira nokuti ndiri mubereka nemwana womusikana. Unobatsira zvokubatsira izvi nokuti nyaya idzodzo dzatinetsa dzokuti vanhu vakuru vanoda kubata vana vadiki itori repi chaiyo chaiyo.
Ndonasa kuti mutemo uyu wakanaka zveshuwa unoita kuti uchengetedze vana vedu nokuti vana ivo ndo vatungamirira vamangwana.
Mutemo uyu ndinoutsigira neni wese nokuti nditino vana vatiri kuzvikoro nanasi ndototyawo kuti vanorepwa nomutemo iwoyo.
Mwana anganzi apinda mbari zera iroro ari mudiki. Mutemo iwoyo pamberi nawo ngazviende mberi.
Unofanira kungotora mwana yese mwana wako.
The new law was passed by Parliament in July this year before President Emmerson Mnangagwa signed it into law. Government has been on a drive to protect vulnerable groups, with the implementation of the new legislation expected to strengthen efforts in safeguarding the rights of children. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The National Development Strategy 2, which is set to run from 2026 to 2030, is expected to address the country's import bill and the deindustrialization of Bulawayo.
This came out at a business breakfast meeting held in Bulawayo this Friday.
The sprouting of informal tuck shops in front of formal shops offering lower prices has become the order of the day not only in Bulawayo but countrywide, hampering the growth of formal businesses. This new norm has led to an outcry by business owners who have made a clarion call for more stringent measures to be employed to curb the challenge.
If you go along that 5th Avenue, a bottle of 2 liters of cooking oil is going for $3. If you go in any other supermarket, the same bottle is going for $3.50. Where do you go? Do you go and pay in a formal business which is more expensive, or you go to the informal business?
Now umuntu lethi into lapha eZimbabwe ufanele ubhatale duty, ubhatale VAT. but laba baletha izinto zabo through other ways, i-smuggling yenzakalayo. So nxa sebeletha ama-products la kuba nzima ukuthi thina sikhompithe nabo ngoba already bona abala ma-regulatory cost.
The Minister of State for Bulawayo Metropolitan Province, Honorable Judith Ncube, also deplored the new phenomenon.
They'll come with a bottle of cooking oil, $3, and sit in front of your shop. You are a formalized entity. He or she is not formalized, and she charges that, using that cheap price. People will be buying from such people, and at the same time, the formal entities will be affected.
Government has, however, proffered a solution which will go a long way in alleviating the challenge and promote the local content policy.
Part of the goods are coming through our ports of entry, but from the security side, again, the porous borders are aiding this. But more importantly, we will make sure that we work with the business community. If anyone is selling imported products, they should be able to give us proof where they acquired them if we demand that. And if they acquired them from a local wholesaler, we'll be able to follow and see if these goods were properly brought into the country.
The move by government to safeguard the formal sector is not only meant to encourage the formalization of small businesses, but also to propel the manufacturing sector to its glory days in line with Vision 2030. Grace Sibanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Exploring further areas of cooperation took center stage when Palestinian ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Tama Al-Masri, and International Organization for Migration Chief of Mission, Diana Katia, met Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage Minister, Honorable Kazembe Kazembe, in Harare this Friday.
In an interview with ZBC News after his courtesy call, Palestinian ambassador to Zimbabwe, His Excellency Tama Al-Masri, said Zimbabwe and his country are seeking more areas of cooperation.
We discussed the cooperation areas between the Republic of Zimbabwe and the State of Palestine. Also, we highly appreciated the support that we received from the Minister of Home Affairs here by pushing the Palestinian request to join the Interpol police.
International Organization for Migration Chief of Mission in Zimbabwe, Diana Carter, disclosed that there was emphasis on strengthening collaboration to reduce human trafficking and ensure proper migration.
I want to assure you once again of our commitment to work with you and your ministry and to continue having the relationships that we have in the country.
Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage Minister Honorable Kazembe Kazembe said Zimbabwe is unwavering in its support for the people of Palestine, while also noting the need to close existing gaps in migration.
We pledged our solidarity with the people of Palestine, and we hope and trust that there will be a solution will be found in due course, so that the disturbances that are taking place there come to an end.
Zimbabwe and Palestine enjoy cordial relations, and government is working with the IOM on legal pathways for migration to avoid irregular migration, smuggling, and trafficking of citizens. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
The Judicial Service Commission has officially opened magistrate courts in Triangle and Chiredzi, in a development expected to improve justice delivery in the area.
As the country strives to ensure access to justice for all, the establishment of more courts with quality infrastructure has been cited as key in combating inefficiencies associated with facilities ill-suited to meet demand. This has seen new magistrate courts being commissioned in Triangle and Chiredzi this Friday by Chief Justice Luke Malava.
Where there is law, there is justice. And where there is law, there are courts. Whether we talk about the upper middle income economy by 2030, we must envision what that kind of society will be like. And it must be a society that will be bringing happiness, development, economical development. Consistent with that is that people must have justice. People must be able to deal with their disputes amicably.
The National Prosecuting Authority welcomed the development, saying it is ready to serve the Chiredzi community.
It is the National Prosecution Authority's hope and belief that prevalent crimes in these areas, as those related to parks and wildlife, stock theft, fraud and assault, will now be attended to locally and thus expeditiously.
The decentralization of the court system has benefited communities through reducing distances traveled by the citizenry to access justice.
The court complex will serve as a beacon of hope for our communities as it eliminates the need for them to travel long distances to access courts in other districts.
The ceremony today has highlighted that the Judiciary Service Commission will continue to strengthen access to justice in local communities through the decentralization of courts and the promotion of the use of technology in judiciary operations.
The event saw the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works handing over the 2 projects to the Judicial Service Commission. The 2 court facilities are equipped with the necessary technical specifications to support the use of the Integrated Electronic Case Management System. Ms. Martina, ZBC News, Chiredzi.
The Pan-African Parliament Permanent Committee session ended in Midrand, South Africa this Friday.
Resolution centered on the promotion of education, health resilience, peace and security, as well as effective implementation of continental goals. The details.
And other organs of the Pan-African Parliament ended with a session on the consideration and adoption of the communique of the 2nd Annual Conference of Speakers of African National and Regional Parliaments. The communique tackled various issues in the implementation of Agenda 2063 priorities, how to strengthen education models in line with the African Union's theme, the impact of climate change and Africa's health resilience.
Parliaments should prioritize the enactment of laws that promote inclusive and equitable access to quality and affordable education in Africa, ensuring alignment with the African Union's continental education strategy for Africa.
In her closing remarks, South Africa's Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Toko Didiza, emphasized that the need to strengthen conflict resolution efforts and missions on ensuring a peaceful and secure Africa.
Areas of conflict in our continent and how, as parliaments, we can play a role in peacemaking. Apart from ensuring that we usher democracy by participating in the various missions as observer mission, but in essence, how do we work to strengthen, peace mission in our continent?
PAP President Chief Fortune Charumbira said the resolve of African nations to forge a path towards all highlighted issues is commendable.
If we can encourage intra-trade within Africa through the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, the economic boom on this continent will be massive. Economies will grow by at least 35% and will create a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities for everybody to be able to improve their quality of life.
Meanwhile, the transformation of the Pan-African Parliament under the leadership of Chief Fortune Charumbira has not gone unnoticed, with the Parliament of Zimbabwe presenting a gift to the PAP President for his efforts in transforming the organ of the African Union. The gift was handed over to Chief Charumbira by Zimbabwe's Speaker of Parliament, Advocate Jacob Mudenda, at the Pan-African Parliament headquarters in Midrand, South Africa. John Dandara, ZBC News, Midrand.
You are watching the main news. Remember to visit our website at www.zbcnews.co.zw for these and more stories in detail.
You can also check our social media handles on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, as well as on our WhatsApp channel. We are at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin, in business news, Zimbabwe blueberries exports top 6 million kilograms annually.
In sport, Dynamo's gun for a double over Orapa United in CAF Confederation Cup this Sunday. Stay with us, we'll be back with more.
Join us once again for the NASA Annual Safety and Health at Work Conference and Awards Dinner, running under the theme, Promoting an Occupational Safety and Health Culture through Vision Zero. The Division of Occupational Safety and Health invites you to this special event with the Safety and Health at Work Conference taking place from the 9th to the 11th of October 2024 at the prestigious Elephant Hills Resort in Victoria Falls. The Safety and Health Awards Dinner will also take place on the 11th of October 2024 at the same venue from 1800 hours to 2200 hours and is a black tie event. Options for registration are as follows. Option 1, conference only. Registration fee is $600 covering workshop material, lunch, teas, activities and welcome dinner. Option 2, conference and accommodation is $1,200 covering 4 nights at Elephant Hills Resort with bed and breakfast, workshop materials, lunch, teas and activities. Tickets for the Safety Awards Dinner are available at only $150 covering dinner, drinks and entertainment. For registration, kindly request an invitation from any of the following. Don't miss out. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Zimbabwe's mining legacy is a story etched deep in our soil. It's a tale of hard work, resilience, and human ingenuity in unearthing riches and building a nation. This commitment to progress continues as mining industry players continue to unlock the vast potential of our mineral reserves, driving economic transformation through innovation, mineral beneficiation, and value addition. Are you ready to be part of the next chapter? Explore cutting-edge advancements and discover endless opportunities in Zimbabwe's expanding mining value chains at the 27th edition of Mine Entra, taking place from the 9th to the 11th of October 2024 at the Zimbabwe International Exhibition Center in Bulawayo. Register via our website www.zitf.co.zw. Mine Entra 2024, unearthing success, the mining value chains, innovation and industrialization nexus.
Shark on the line.
He took my fish.
You guys, did you see that? I just was like, what?
I really want you to find someone nice who would mean the world to you and make you so happy.
Bernardo Silva, Stones, Foden, a little bit of time. Oh, what a shot! What a goal! What a player!
Say hello to seamless transactions and effortless convenience with the new Inbox Swipe card. Swipe, tap, pay and go with confidence anywhere in Zimbabwe. Sign up for your Inbox Swipe card at any Inbox booth nationwide today. Have you registered for Inbox yet? If not, dial *569# or download the Inbox app and redefine the way you bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. A government continues to walk the talk on its commitment to uplifting education standards across the country, as evidenced by the commissioning of learning and sanitation infrastructure at Holy Name Matsika Primary School in Makoni West this Thursday.
Holy Name Matsika Primary School in Makoni West constituents is fast becoming a model school in terms of education and sanitation infrastructure, thanks to the support of local legislator Honorable Jennifer Mswere, the government and development partners. Through the provision of water, the school is also embarking in viable income-generating projects.
Besides this ICT policy, we were also supported by the government itself, where we were given the grants to renovate some of our blocks which are almost collapsing.
Warubatsira nyaya dzema computers, maboards, ne makit sports.
Constituency inotungamirirwa naVamuswere. Vamuswere vakaitawo mapipa vari kuita pana. Furniture yamuri kuona muno ndo vakadonate. Malaptop esa ndo vakadonate.
It therefore brings us much joy as Ministry of Education to witness the official opening of this state-of-the-art ECD classroom and a world-class toilet block.
The program is in response to calls by government to support President Emerson Mnangagwa-led Vision 2013.
We are celebrating the completion of a 24-compartment water system toilet, a state-of-the-art computer lab, early child classroom block, renovation of other classroom blocks. So far we have invested 150,000, including the community's contribution.
Dr. Mswere says the commissioning of the school infrastructure is critical in reducing rural-urban divide regards education provision.
The government of Zimbabwe, under the leadership of President Idi Mnangagwa, has been in a position to transform the entire population and the entire rural infrastructure economy in order to propel the whole nation towards Vision 2030, and at the same time making sure that we leave no one and no place behind. So as guest of honor, I've just commissioned a number of infrastructure projects, which includes a school block, and working together with the complementary role of World Vision, which has played a key role in order to support a number of government initiatives. The Presidential National E-Learning Strategy is one of the projects that we've just commissioned, which is there in order to create a platform to support the full digitalization and transformation of the education sector.
Meanwhile, Honorable Mswere has also initiated a scholarship program to assist local communities by paying school fees for students from vulnerable families. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
Well, it's time now for us to cross over to our Montrose studios in Bulawayo, where we are joined by Dora Ngube. Good evening to you, Dora, and I can see you are looking all brand new there. How are you tonight?
Thank you so much, Justin. It is indeed a beautiful evening here in the city of Kings and Queens. Many thanks to you and Joyce for taking us on for the first part of the bulletin. And we continue with the main news from our Montrose News Desk. The Binga community is transforming its food landscape through innovative irrigation schemes, focusing on nutrition and food security.
Despite the scarcity of water exacerbated by the El Nino-induced drought, Binga has turned to innovative irrigation through government support. Food and Nutrition Council board members embarked on a fact-finding mission in Binga this Friday, visiting various irrigation schemes to assess their progress. While the Bulawayo Crow irrigation scheme continues to grapple with vandalism-related issues, the Saba Green Valley and Lungwalala irrigation schemes are thriving, operating at full capacity and making tangible impact in the community.
Irrigation is in 20 hectares. Mpoi center pivot cover 15 hectares. Po 5 hectares ima drip. So ndipa kulumbalo kusibiri uli fulmende watuchitira project A.
Irrigation ndakabona kambo imembali time ndeyobeka mu contract mu wamsikabana. Ndakabona irrigation ndakachitambula kabotwa kuti kambo chiragwa sya mubumi.
Lungwalala, they are benefiting a lot. They get food from those
0.5 hectares. They get for their families, then they sell the other part.
The traditional leadership is satisfied with the progress made so far.
Twakakazika kulima this year. Twakalima beans azakagwasizya mu bantu amune bamwe azakatugwasya so twakasambala.
Food and Nutrition Council Chairperson Dr. Ngayite Ngomo cited irrigation schemes as key to food security and sustainability.
This Libisi irrigation scheme is being run and managed by the community, which led by women. And to me, I would rather have it replicated every province, every district, because it works.
The Saba Green Valley scheme, managed by the Agricultural and Rural Development Authority under the V30 accelerator model, has transformed into commercial agriculture venture. The irrigation scheme aligns with the Rural Development 8.0, aimed at eradicating poverty in all its forms, including food and water scarcity, as the country journeys towards an upper middle income society by 2030. Abigail Tembo, ZBC News, Bingham.
Remains of 16 South African freedom fighters who died in Zimbabwe at the height of the liberation struggle have been exhumed ahead of repatriation and reburial in their motherland.
Stalwarts who are being repatriated to their country played a key role in helping Zimbabwe gain independence, but unfortunately perished during the Wangi 1967 battle. A joint campaign between the African National Congress's armed wing Umkhonto weSizwe and Zimbabwe's CIPRA forces.
We are here in Bulawayo, having started in Zambia and then proceeded to Harare, and then this is our last stop to exhume the remains of Basil February, who was caught up in a conflict that came to be known as the Wangi campaign, which was a joint campaign between the African National Congress's armed wing, Umkhonto weSizwe, and the ZIPRA, which was an armed wing of ZAPU.
The South African delegation, made up of anthropologists and archaeologists, has been in the country since Tuesday. The exercise started off in Harare, with the remains of 15 cadres being exhumed, while one liberation cadre's remains were exhumed and identified in Bulawayo this Friday. The development confirms how the two sister republics helped each other in fighting colonialism.
After this, we are going to be looking at other cadres who fell during the Spolilo battle, during the Wangi battle, and then from there, I think what we are going to do is we are going to extend it even outside the Zimbabwean borders. Zimbabwe and South Africa shared a camp in Angola, and it's just prudent that when we go to Angola to do the investigations, we go together.
A homecoming ceremony for the liberation fighters will be held in South Africa on the 27th of this month, and it will be presided over by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Lisa Masuku, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Government has put in place strategies to complete outstanding housing projects as part of efforts to reduce the national housing backlog.
There is renewed hope for beneficiaries of the Crown Land Housing Scheme in Chinhoyi after government pledged to put in place modalities for the completion of outstanding services works. The housing scheme, which sits on a 57-hectare piece of land, is set to benefit over 600 individuals.
Totarisira kuti minister sezvaona machichemo zvedu zvese kuti we need development here, vanhu vari kuchema tina mabeneficiaries akatofa kare, vamwe civil service ndaritaya, asi vese takangotarisira kuti project ienderere mberi, saka kwaiva minister makumbiro makuru kwatiri.
Permanent Secretary for Mashonaland West Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. Josephat Jaji, gave an update of the state of housing schemes in the province.
For a long time, Tangataka Nevano Vangavakita sort of illegal settlements, and we managed to stop. and kuya kwaita minister une monitoring visit yauye kunowapa confidence kuti the sure government is coming to assist.
Speaking after touring the housing project, National Housing and Social Amenities Minister Honorable Musoda reiterated government's commitment to providing decent and affordable accommodation.
So going forward, a culture has now been adopted by the Second Republic of completing projects on time, because we have to align ourselves with the intentions or the objectives of every project, especially projects that are supposed to benefit the people are supposed to be prioritized.
Minister Soda also assessed progress at Kasese Housing Project in Kariba as government continues to pursue inclusive development. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinoi.
And that's it from myself, Dorangube, and the Montrose News team. More news will be coming through from our Pocket Hill studios after this break.
Wrap up your week with the TM Pick and Pay Spring Price Cut Weekend Winners. Make your weekends even brighter with unbeatable deals on all your essentials. TM Pick and Pay. Real value always.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
This is Africa. And here, we're always on the go. There you go. Très bien. So when you're ready to go, let's go. Let's go, Africa.
Say hello to seamless transactions and effortless convenience with the new Inbox Swipe Card. Swipe, tap, pay and go with confidence anywhere in Zimbabwe. Sign up for your Inbox Swipe Card at any Inbox booth nationwide today. Have you registered for Inbox yet? If not, dial *569# or download the Inbox app and redefine the way you bank. Terms and conditions apply.
If you drink, be responsible.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And if you have just joined us, this is the main news. Government has called out land barons and rural community leaders for parceling out state land, saying decisive action will be taken against offenders.
The rampant sale of state land in wetlands, pastures and farming areas converted to residential stands has become a pressing concern. Alarm bells are ringing as the illegal practice is not only damaging the environment but also depriving communities of essential resources. The Secretary for Presidential Affairs in the Office of the President, Engineer Tafadzwa Mguti, spoke to ZBC News on government's course of action and the role of provincial authorities in land management.
We are concerned because there's rampant corruption now which is happening right from district levels. There's a disconnect where traditional leaders, district development coordinators and other district officials are making decisions without the knowledge of ministers of state for provincial affairs and devolution and the secretaries of state for provincial affairs and devolution. So from where we are standing, with immediate effect, we are now saying that the ministers of state for provincial affairs and devolution are going to be chairing any form of provincial economic development which is happening in the provinces.
He added that stern action will be taken against offenders regardless of social standing.
As it is, we are aware, and the nation is aware, that there's a provincial council bill which is being amended by the Honourable Minister of Local Government and Public Works, and until that bill comes out, and until the devolution policy or act is fully in place through the Office of the President and Cabinet, we should not have people jumping the gun. So there are government officials that we are aware are deaf towards the decrees of His Excellency and will deal with them decisively.
Central government has been taking action to curb corruption and ensure the protection of state land and resources in rural areas, with local authorities being directed to deliver master plans to guide them in their operations.
Beyond our borders, the African continent is battling the mpox outbreak as cases continue to increase in several countries. That and more in the following report.
The African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, said more needs to be done to control mpox after 15 out of the 55 African Union member states reported mpox cases in their countries. In his weekly briefing, Africa CDC Director General Jean Kaseya said the numbers continue to increase, with over 2,000 new cases being reported within a week, while 14 people have succumbed to the disease in the continent within the same period. Rwanda has started a vaccination campaign, with the Democratic Republic of Congo set to start vaccinations early next month. The World Health Organization has declared the recent mpox outbreak a public health emergency of international concern.
Russia's special military operation in Ukraine continues, with the European countries saying it has captured a Ukrainian village. Reports say the Russian army has enhanced its tactics across multiple fronts and secured advantageous forward positions. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, its forces have continued their offensive operations and subdued various Ukrainian attacks. Meanwhile, the European Union chief Ursula von der Leyen is expected to announce comprehensive funding for Ukraine's energy needs this Friday when she arrives in Kyiv, with most of the money expected to come from Russian assets frozen in the EU since 2022 when the conflict started.
Back home, we head straight to business news, where Zimbabwe is emerging as the leading producer of blueberries on the African continent, supplying key export markets such as the European Union, Asia, and the Middle East.
Local horticulture products shipping firm FX Logistics has revealed that it is now handling 6 million kilograms of blueberries destined for the European Union, Middle East, and some parts of Asia annually. Horticultural expert Clarence Umale says it is a remarkable turnaround for the subsector, which was non-existent 7 years ago.
Because blueberries are an orchard crop, the crops that were put in 5 years ago are now coming into 100% production. That means each blueberry bush is now coming into 100% production capacity. So that's about 7 kgs per tree, up to 7 kgs per tree, for example. That then has contributed significantly to the number of kgs or the tonnage that we are now able to export.
According to trade promotion body Zimtrade, the country's unique climatic conditions are ideal for production of the best quality blueberries, while interventions are creating new markets.
Blueberries from Zimbabwe are considered to be amongst the best tasting blueberries that you find anywhere in the world. And this is because of our climate. And as Zimtrade, what we have been doing to make sure that we take advantage of that opportunity is to conscientize our growers about these opportunities in the different markets.
Blueberries are being produced at a large scale on farms measuring up to 100 hectares, while companies like Kuminda are incentivizing small-scale production and then aggregating volumes to increase national production. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
And that was our look at business news. Let's now shift our attention to the arts, where a star-studded lineup of artists has been confirmed for the inaugural Oliver Mtukudzi International Festival of Arts, set for Norton this Saturday.
Revered musicians including Ja Praiser, Killer T, Gemma Griffiths, Salma Mtukudzi, and Dimurizo, Felinandi, and the group Mokumba are set to perform at the two-day fete aimed at honoring national hero and music icon Oliver Mtukudzi. The festival, which coincides with the late music giant's birthday, is among other initiatives meant to keep the legacy of the international acclaimed artist alive. American performer Aaron Meyers is also expected in the country for the same event, with offsprings of Mtukudzi's Pakarepaya Arts Center, Mbeu and Sarongano also join the list of performers. Dr. Mtukudzi, who died in January 2019 at the age of 66, had more than 60 albums to his name. Patience Nyagato, ZBC News, Harare.
Stand by for sport after these messages.
Get ready. All in one place. Introducing the new Zim Digital Decoder so you can enjoy more in full HD for free without monthly subscriptions. You can now get to enjoy Zimbabwe's best and new TV and radio channels on the Zim Digital Decoder countrywide. All you need to do is purchase your Zim Digital Decoder for $25 or Zig equivalent. This is a once-off payment for the decoder, no monthly subscriptions. Hurry and get your Zim Digital Decoder at Transmedia Offices, Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe, Kingstones, Ground Floor, Harare, and all TV broadcasters. Zim Digital, tirimotese sonke skona.
ZBC Current Affairs, thriving for excellence and perfection in setting the agenda, shaping the Zimbabwean story and sustaining the narrative through detailed analysis and discussions, bringing to you polished live coverage of national events. We are ZBC Current Affairs, delivering to you the national budget, live parliamentary debates, independence, Heroes Day and Defense Forces events. We bring you insightful documentaries, special programs, and thought-provoking debates. ZBC Current Affairs. We are definitely Zimbabwean, telling an accurate, balanced, and unfettered Zimbabwean story.
Welcome back. Time now for sport. Zimbabwe's representatives in the CAF Confederation Cup, Dynamos, are gunning for a double over Orapa United of Botswana when the two teams meet in the second leg of the second round this weekend.
The Giants of Zimbabwe football need at least a draw against Orapa United to progress to the group stage of the CAF Confederation Cup after a 1-0 victory in the first leg. The two sides meet at the Obedi Itani Stadium in Francistown, with Jimbare fully aware of the task at hand.
We prepare as usual, taking into cognizance the strengths and weaknesses of the opponents. Otherwise, we look forward to a tricky game, but the flag bearers of Zimbabwean football have a 50-50 chance, just like the home team, Orapa United. Yes, we are at home, but this is a home away from home. That is the major challenge we face, but we'll give it our all to make sure that Dynamos goes through to the mini league stage of the tournament.
Dynamos have been in France's tournament since last week and have received a major boost after winger Issa Sadiki and Namibian striker Sadni Urukobo were past defeat to face Orapa in the second leg.
Chapungu Queens and Black Mambas will battle for the Heart Women Trophy after the two clubs made it to the final set for Sunday at the Heart Stadium in Harare.
There were 16 teams, but then there were two left, with Black Mambas and Chapungu set to battle it out in the inaugural Heart Tournament final on Sunday. Chapungu met Rentos Queens in the first semi-final, dubbed the final before the final this Friday, and as expected, the match lived up to the billing. After an intense battle, a single goal from Dorothy Nyoni saw Chapungu sailing through to the final at the expense of fancied Rentos. The second semi-final saw Harare City Queens taking an expected lead after dominating much of the first half, but after a breather, Black Mambas stung at the City Queens when it mattered most with 2 goals. City had opportunities to draw level, but they all spanned, leaving Black Mambas to face Chapungu Queens. The final will signal the end of the first knockout competition in the Heart Women Soccer League.
The Zimbabwe senior national rugby team, the Sables, have paid tribute to Churchill High for the school's invaluable contribution to the development of the sport in the country.
Sables head coach Pete Bernard, accompanied by national team players and former Churchill students, presented the Africa Cup trophy to the school as a token of appreciation for their long-standing support. Affectionately known as the Bulldogs, Churchill has produced no less than 4 national team captains in Denford Mtamangira, Daniel Hondo, and Kostadina, among others.
They're supplying about 60-70% of the national squad are coming from 2 institutions, which says something about the kind of person that comes through these places. Just in terms of, I mentioned to the boys, just in terms of the resilience and the reliability of a person that comes out of these places.
Some of the players who donned the green and white Sables hoops, having had their skills honed at the Nigel Philip Rugby Ground, include Sharks flanker Blythe Mawesere, Tangai Tubet Nemadire, Jaros Banda, Willis Magaso, Praj Tinderu, and Lilian Stambuera, among a host of other players.
There's a lot of hard work that's been going on over the years, and I really appreciate the fact that Pete came through, and and it's also very good for our program, because as you can see, the majority of the players are coming from Prince Edward and Churchill. Even though, yes, there's a lot of private schools out there that are playing some very good rugby, but as soon as the boys finish, we never really see them participating, for the country.
As Churchill, we encourage all our boys to participate in rugby, and of course other sporting activities, but rugby being at the top.
One of the school products, Takuzo Madiro, who has earned over 100 caps for Zimbabwe in both 7s and 15s rugby, paid a tribute to the school.
To be able to play on the top level rugby, it was just a dream, but then coming back and actually seeing where we came from, it's a dream come true, and actually realizing how far we came.
As the Sables prepare for the upcoming Rugby World Cup, their partnership with Churchill High School serves as a testament to the school's dedication to developing future rugby stars and contributing to the growth of the sport in Zimbabwe. Lawrence Truseda, ZBC News, Harare.
From rugby, we give you more football news, and Bulawayo Giants Highlanders are stuck between a rock and a hard place as they prepare for a Chibuku Super Cup quarter-final encounter against informer Simbabura.
With 8 games to go before the end of the Premier Soccer League season, Highlanders have relinquished their quest for the PSL League title after going 1 place down from 4th to 5th on the log following a 3-2 defeat by Caps United last weekend. The Bulawayo Giants now shift focus to the Chibuku Super Cup, where they face a tough match against log leaders Simbabura at Wadzanai Stadium on Sunday. Also will be missing the services of several players such as Archford Faira and Marvin Sibanda, who are not yet back from medical leave.
We are free of our junior players that have been called to the under-20 national team. They are going also gives us a disadvantage in terms of team selection. Ashford Fire has not even resumed flight training. For Ashford Fire, we are still working out a way that he may go and seek further treatment in terms of his injury. So his Malvin is also still out.
Head coach Kelvin Kayindu is counting on the return of Rafael PTC as he admits the Chibuku Super Cup is their only hope of silverware this season.
We play Simba at the moment that they have picked up their form. I think they have been quite consistent in the games that they have been playing. Looking at the point difference with the team that is on top, I think it makes it very, very difficult. But football being football, there is still hope. But probably our biggest hope now is to focus on the Chibuku.
In other Chibuku Super Cup quarter-final matches, rejuvenated Manica Diamonds faced stuttering FC Platinum at Sakuva Stadium on Saturday, while Ngezi Platinum readies for a clash with On Fire Caps United at Baobab Stadium. The match pitting Dynamos and Yada has been postponed to a later date as Dimbare are away to Orapa United of Botswana in the Confederation Cup. Grace Sibanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
And sport was our last port of call on tonight's edition of the main news.
And that's all we had for you tonight. Have a good night.
Good night.